Oh, you fool, you poor innocent fool. Where has my little chat gone? Oh, where could it be? Do I want to hide a body? I can hide a body. I know where to hide a body, goddammit. I'm an archaeologist. Never find it again. Nope, that's wrong. That's not. There we go. Huh. I have new buttons to push. Hey, Mooch. Good to see you. Hello, Isaac. That's a great name. Dio the Unicorn! Yay! I prevented you from shopping on. You know what? I was on. Since you brought it up, where was I? Where was I? Momo Slimes. I was on Momo Slimes last night, and I was like, oh, I'll buy myself some new slimes. And then I have my phone set to basically brick up at midnight so that I will go to bed. And it bricked up, and I tried to go back to find the page I was on, basically, because I was like, no, I hadn't bought the slime yet, and I couldn't find it. And so I was like, you know what? It's a sign. I don't need the slime. I want the slime, but don't need it. Hey, Scooter. Hello, Heather Rose. Hey, from California. Nice. Hello, rainy day. Hey, it's 6 o'clock.
This is a reminder. Go live.
Live. Go live. Go live. Sorry, guys. I gotta go. Alexa told me to go live. Go live. Tatinia? Tatinia? Tatini? Ferrari. I got Ferrari part. Hey, Curvy, you are here. You're so close to getting some really neat Hanfu. Ooh. Yeah, I was slime blocked. Yeah. Slime blocked by my own phone. It's a wasa. We have a cat. I don't know if you guys can see him. You can you can see this part of him. He gets annoyed when I pet him while he's sleeping. Poor thing. All right, let me turn lights on. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Yes, I know. I went live. I'm very aware of this. Did you guys know that I'm live? Okay. Anything else? No. Good. Hopefully there'll be no more interruptions. I don't have a cat, but the universe keeps trying to give you a possum. Okay. It's like a cat. Hey, Midori. Hello, housewife. How small can I can make that pretty damn small. I can't read it, but I can make it small. Excuse me. Are you making the Hanfu? Tea with unicorn? Hey, it's McFarlane. About ready to storm up to Canada and take Foodie's cat. Too late. She surrendered it to a shelter, and the shelter took it. Which, to be frank, I mean, the way she did it was kind of bullshit, but let's be honest. Let us be honest, huh? Do we really want her to have a cat? If you guys watch Graphically Alex, y'all should go give him some love. He's having a moment. He needs some love. Quirky, come get your dad. He's embarrassing you. Hey, Priscilla, yay. Well, that's true. But she doesn't have the cat anymore. There we go. Thought Foodie didn't actually give it to the shelter. Wait, she didn't? No, didn't she? Ah, man, don't play with my emotions like that. The word is she was supposed to surrender it on Saturday and then did not. Of course. So where's the cat? Well, I mean, I guess I can watch Salty Crab. It's only 20 minutes. Ah, it's 5 hours old. Nah, we're not going to do that. I'll watch it. We're not going to watch it. I don't want to. I don't like doing that. Don't like it. I'm not subscribed. Megan. No, go back. You had it right. Actually, I do want this.
Water. Take your meds if.
Stop it. Stop it. Madison David. Mad Mads. Did you like that? Mad Mads. Nah? I think he likes your name. Say hi to everybody. Hello. Boop, 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 boop. You gonna chew on me again? Well, I think I lied to you guys about the cat. Apparently, I don't know. I'll find out. I'm sure somebody knows. Someone around here knows. And they know more than me. We're not watching this video. We might watch a part of this video. Because there's a part of the video I want to watch. I love transcripts. Yes, I do. Inherent. There we are. I'll go back to this part. That's where I want to be. 11 p.m., not 12 p.m. We are all alive, I would hope. All right. So if you saw from the title of the live, I was watching this video from Megan. No, you can't see shit because I don't have it up. Professional. That shouldn't be running. I closed The Sims. There we go. Hey. What? You got at least an hour, if not 2 hours. Oh, you know what that word means. Anyway, I was watching this video because I've been seeing this person pop up in a lot of fat activist reaction videos now. And so I was interested to learn a little bit more about them. I am a meat popsicle. You guys are weird. Hey, Sengi. Anyway, so I thought I'd watch this video of Megan Ans and find out what she thinks of her. And Megan mentioned just a thing that I've always thought, and I've been meaning to put a video together about it, and that is that fat activism is inherently anti-feminist. And Megan mentioned that she had another video that was her argument for fat activism being anti-feminist. But I was watching on my phone, and when you watch on your phone, you don't get the little pop-ups. So I thought you just well, it is her most recent video. Oh, I should probably find out how. Yeah, no, that just came out today. So we're only gonna watch like this little tiny segment, and mostly it's because I want to see the pop-up, so I can go to the older video, and we can watch that. So yeah, we're not gonna watch the whole video because it literally just came out today, and with the exception of a couple creators who I have permission from, basically, I don't like to do that to people unless it's, people we react to, like Amber and those people. Those people I will react to. Hey, Ruby Skies is here. Ruby. But yeah, so I didn't check the date on this one. Okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do, because I do still want to make that video for Nate. I'm really bad at my own schedule, but I did want to do the fat activism is inherently anti-feminist video for one of the Fat Acceptance Fridays. Yeah, and the baby videos. Yeah, Amber just put that one video up. She put it up on Wednesday. I know I'm late to the party. So there's that. But we'll get to that one. It's fine. She just weighs in. She weighs a lot. Raise your hand if you're surprised. She's in the 500s. Amber is. So I don't care. When she gets to like the mid 400s, I'll perk up. But right now, yeah, I don't care. Nah, Amber's actually better at her schedule than I am. I mean, first off, I don't have an actual schedule. So right there. And secondly, Amber really has stuck to her schedule for the most part, with the exception of that 1 week where she vanished. That schedule that she had set up for herself, where she was putting out the 4 videos in a week, that she stuck with that for what, 10, 11 weeks? And then this new schedule that she put out for herself, she's basically putting she's supposed to put a video out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And so far, she put a video out on Monday, she put a video out on Wednesday, Friday's not here yet. So yeah, no, I don't think Idiot Witch, I don't think she's going to see the mid 400s. She just doesn't have it in her. So hello, Kelly. Hello, Tammy. Hello, Chicken. Who else snuck in while I was rambling? So I will give her that. And she was, for what they're worth, she was doing the members live streams. I think I agree with who, I don't remember if it was Salty or if it was Rachel who said that Amber's probably going to do away with the members stuff soon because she wants to do full lives so that she can have access to the public. So, which is fine. If I don't have to pay $10 fucking a month to watch her bore the hell out of me, I am perfectly happy with that. Gabrielle, how are you? She almost would have made it through a 90-day probationary period. Yeah. Hello, Claire. Mew Digital. So, but anyway, I don't think there's really anything else to really talk about. Oh, with Amber. I know that there's a rumor going around that was started by Alexis. Sorry about that. That Amber's singing some married woman again. I reject it out of hand only because it's coming from Alexis. I I don't not think Amber would obviously date a married woman because, well, we have evidence of that. So the what she has been accused of, I believe Amber would do. That's not the issue. The issue is Alexis is just not a reliable source for me, and whatever Alexis says at this point, I just reject out of hand. So yes, Quirky Love Rose. Yes, Quirky got fired. Apparently, Quirky got fired. Immediately started bad mouthing the business that she got fired from. She tried to drop enough deets to basically, I guess it's not really doxing the company that she worked for because it's a public company, but you know, she starts bad mouthing the company. She starts dropping enough details that you could identify the company that she had worked for. And then I don't know if she said like somebody should investigate them, or if she implied that there was an investigation into them. It's either way. She tried to imply that the company that she was working for was super shady and that they were doing immoral things, and she was glad that she got fired anyway, and she was gonna quit. So I'm ad-libbing at this point, but that's kind of the vibe she was giving during her pool session. So yeah, I can actually react to that one because I think it's only an hour long. Quirky is kind of funny because she's trying so hard to be manipulative, but like she's really, really bad at. I agree, kinda. She gets a shit ton of donations and stuff through when she goes live, which since she's no longer employed, I'm kind of surprised she's not going live more. So maybe she really is having mentals. So she got fired because, first off, she started that job before she took her break. We're talking about Quirky right now. Let me see if I can yank her up. I mean, if we're going to talk about her. Duplicate. No. Quirky Love. Oh, no, that's me. I don't want to go to me. I know what I have to say.
Let's see.
We're all going to suffer together. Anyway, Quirky was saying Quirky started this job that she got fired from when she was before she left YouTube for that 2 months. And basically from day one, she was sabotaging her own job there. And she just kept sabotaging herself. And then from day 2, she basically was bad mouthing the company. But I will give her that she never dropped any details while she was working for them as to who they were. So I will give her that. But she just kept, bad mouthing them and talking down about the company. And she's so smart. And she's so smart and she's better than them. And they're just, they're like using her, yada, yada, yada. And she's never worked for, or she's worked for other companies like this who turned out to be shady companies. I don't think she subconsciously did it on purpose. She totally consciously did it on purpose, chicken. So when she came back from her 2-month-ish break, she was coming up on the end of her 90-day period, probationary period, where she had been told when she got hired that she can't miss any time during that 90-day period. And I assumed that that meant that they were going to fire her out of hand at the first day that she missed. So, um, I think it was even like the first week she was there, she just started calling in because she was too it's stressed out effectively to work. And I mean, I don't want to like downplay mental health and all that, but this was a work from home job. All she had to do was roll out of bed. Um so there's that. Secondly, she really was causing the problems that she was having. And yeah, Tammy, she was the bestest student. She didn't understand the job. They are actually as shady as she thinks, Hillary. I don't know. But yeah, she trashed her fellow coworkers on the internet. She didn't work there long enough to get unemployment. No, she didn't. I don't think she made it through all 90 days. But either way, this blog at the pool here, she talks about that she got fired. And so there's that. You just got done watching the new Anna video? Oh, my video? I'm not angry anymore. I calmed down. I was working in it was stupid hot this morning, but I went out. There's a community garden I work at, and god damn, it was hot. So, oh, were they a shady? I don't know. They're a utility company, so I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, is capitalism? Yeah, kind of. I mean, nothing was shady, chicken. She was making the claim. Oh, well, I guess I can just play it. It's not the whole video. It is, however, one of her stupid pool videos. I don't know why I'm not searching for it. Fired. Okay. God, she's like a freaking squirrel. Sorry, I'm trying to find the spot. This is her making somebody a moderator because she can't moderate on her phone. So, WFH right now. Who? I work in the office harder than. It's harder because your bed's this right there. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, y'all don't know yet. Are we there? Did you jump me there? Yes. All right.
Oh, y'all don't know yet. I just realized y'all don't know this because this happened on
You're not missing anything. Not being able to see the full screen. I'm actually saving you some. I'm actually saving you.
Thursday, but I'm currently not employed, which I'm not surprised by. I fucking hated that job so much, and I've just been processing everything because I worked for a utility company up in like the northeastern part of the United States.
Oh, work
and
from home. WFH.
Like I almost want to contact somebody like, that can be made aware of what's going on in the back end side of this utility company, because it just can't be legal. Like, it can't be fucking legal. Like, the craziest shit, man. Like, their systems are so bad and their turnaround is so high because their whole infrastructure is so fucked up. And some of the stuff that I witnessed and, like, had to deal with while I worked there was just fucking baffling.
This is her setting up the argument that the place that she was working was shady AF. And so it's okay that they fired her because she was going to quit anyway, kind of a thing. But there you go. So there you go. That effectively is really all you need to know. She got fired on Thursday of, what, a week ago? Streamed on June 17th. So whatever Thursday was before June 17th, that's where she got fired. And she thinks her job was shady AF. Sure, whatever. So, copium. Yeah, it's copium. So, 4 paws on a book. Utah at 107 degrees this Tuesday. Yeah, well, like I said, in the video, I'm not from the West, but I know it's warmer there than it is here. Well, usually. And I've had friends who've worked out there and stuff like that. So, I mean, I know it's typically hotter there than it is here. So, and I also know that, like, the longer you live out there, the more you adjust to it. So, there you have it. Yeah, exactly, Renata. The turnover is high because they hire people like her who are just too fucking special to work a real job. Hey, Formilks is here! I can feel the cope from my screen. Exactly. HR probably offered her if she will. They didn't have to offer her anything because when she got hired, they told her she was basically on a 90-day probationary period. So they theoretically could just kick her at any point. Also, like, every state in this, everywhere around here is like an at-will state. I don't think there's any states around here that aren't, which means you can A, quit at any point, and B, you can be fired at any point for whatever. They don't have to give you a reason. If they just, I don't like your face, you're out. So there you go. Jules, not Jules, is funny. Catching alive. Hey, there you are. Yeah, welcome to working for Rosie. That's the thing. Like, she doesn't know what work is my thing here, but yeah, the high turnover rate is probably just because it's a call center. I mean, it takes a special person to enjoy a call center, right? It takes a certain level of masochism to enjoy the call center. They probably have bad software. Yeah, I mean, it's probably a utility company. They're probably still running on DOS. 5% of new hires even made it out of training because hiring practices were, do you have a pulse? She kind of implied that was how this hiring process was as well, but then she just went on to trash all of them. She says that she's in a Discord with a bunch of her fellow employees. And maybe, I don't know, but you know, so she has did they send her a computer? They sent her a bunch of crap. So she's probably just going to have to send that all back. You worked at a call center during college. It wasn't uncommon to have people quit mid-shift and throwing down their headset and storming up. I mean, I understand that for whatever company they're working for, that was probably super annoying, but at the same time, I I can imagine why they would do that, you know? So uh that and burning popcorn. Burning popcorn. Nom nom nom. All right, anyway. Um let's watch this little tiny bit because I want to see the thing pop up.
Of the coin, right? How she's talking
Yes, we're jumping into the middle of a video.
about how it's not helpful to you and it's not helpful to people who view it. I have always thought, and I have a video on this, that I think fat activism is inherently anti-feminist, and which is interesting because a lot, if
That was
not
a hard
all,
edit.
of the creators in the fat activism sphere all claim to be like very staunch left-wing feminists, right? Like I do. But I think I come at it through with the content, with the knowledge of the majority of the people who consume fat activism content are women, girls, and femme presenting people. And I think this continued policing of what fat people can and cannot do with their bodies,
Jesus.
what fat people can and cannot talk about on social media, all of that kind of stuff. I think that
I thought my editing was rough.
that is inherently anti-feminist. And I say people, fat people, whatever, I mean fat women because that is the primary audience for most of this content. And so, but when it comes to how it could be harmful for people who are seeing your before and after pictures, to me, that is saying that we are assuming fat woman who is watching this, who may have lost weight and wants to post about it online, needs to be protective of other people's feelings and
This is a
not
really good
celebrate
point.
her accomplishments. And to me, women
This is a really
societally
good
have
point.
always been taught to put others' feelings before their own. So for me, this whole talking point of like protecting the people who see your before and after pictures because it could be harmful to them is an anti-feminist argument. It's very early in the morning. My Weird World of Fat Activism Feminism video covers that way more eloquently, so go watch that. I'll have it linked up here. But there's that aspect of it. But also,
You didn't link it. I hate when people are as bad about that as I am. What did she say? Weird world of fat activism. She said there was going to be a pop-up. Sorry, so we watched that because I thought there was going to be a pop-up. That's going to be an older video too, isn't it? Fat acceptance feminism. Hey, I spelled it right. There we go. Well, anyway, it was good to watch that clip because that argument that she makes there is really poignant, because this whole not being able to post pictures of yourself celebrating weight loss that fat activists have is inherently anti-feminist because, again, as Megan Ans was saying, I love you too, my baby. Fat activists and fat activism usually pretty much only targets women. And as Megan Ans was saying, like, women are culturally and usually socially conditioned to not to think about themselves and to think about everyone else first, right? And part of feminism is, allowing women to put themselves first and not put everyone else first as well, and it's also a good therapy thing, but it's a really good point. And I'd never actually thought about it until she said that. And okay. And so listening to her say that, I was just like, yeah, no, that clicks as well. Because again, the biggest argument of why fat acceptance is anti-feminist is because they police your body. And that is just obviously anti-feminist. It's like part of the definition of being anti-feminist. So the body policing thing is is definitely part of it. But now also like the demanding that women make themselves small. And by small, I mean put everyone else before their own needs, right? Because that's what they're really asking you to do when they tell you not to share your before and after pictures, because it might trigger them. And I mean, not to be a dick, but I don't care, you know? But that's the problem. Like, you're asking me to make myself small and to put myself in the background because I have to think about oodles of people that I don't know who might be triggered because I put in the hard work to lose weight, right? So, you guys still talking about call centers? You love a Vietnam veteran to have a convo. Oh, you'd like for a Vietnam veteran to have a conversation with Trigger to tell them, you know, it's just become such a, like, it's such a term now. Like, I use it. And I remember when they first started using the term and I was like, I felt the same way, Mooch. And I do it now. So anyway, hey, Groovy Bobby. House from Tracy in a very cold Melbourne. Where's Melbourne? Where's Melbourne? That's the other side of the pond, right? Yeah, Elisa, it's also your responsibility. It's okay. It's also just you are responsible for avoiding your triggers. If before and afters upset you, don't look at them. I agree with the avoiding your triggers thing to a point, because, you know, you don't always know going into a situation if something is going to upset you or not. And that's why I think there are certain things that are worthy of having a warning for, especially certain heavy topics that I feel are okay to trigger warning people for. Also things like, you know, flashing lights, loud noises, unfortunately jump scares. But I watch a lot of horror games and I watch a lot of horror movies, and that's like the bread and butter of those things. But I know there are people that jump scares will set them off. But they, you know, those people, they don't play horror games and they don't watch horror movies. But if it happens to be in a movie that they weren't expecting it to be in, you know, that's the problem. But I don't think the world needs to go around putting trigger warnings in front of fucking everything, because, you know, if you're triggered by the color pink, I don't know what to tell you. You know, I can't go around putting warning color pink on the front of everything. Why are we back to hiding a body? Excuse me. Oh, I put the link to Megan Ans' video in there since we watched a little bit of it. The word trigger has been another victim of the watering down of language. Yeah, well, so is the word victim, Tammy. That's another thing. Hey, Ginger. Uncomfortable Ginger, you made it. Night Owl's here. Rowan's here. I think I got you. So, I think I got everybody snuck in. Annie? Emotional regulation. I don't watch horror movies. It's fine. Horror movies aren't for everybody. I don't watch certain horror movies, certain types of horror movies, because I don't like body horror. That'll set me off, and I know that, so I don't watch that. And I don't like gore porn. I don't like that kind of stuff where it's just gory for no fucking reason. Unless it's like stupidly over the top, like comically gory, that I'll watch. But like, oh my god. Okay, I did actually watch this one, but the newest Living Dead movie that came out, it's been a while. I think it came out last year. Actually, I know it came out last year. I did watch that, but that's because of who directed it, and also like I've seen every other Living Dead, Evil Dead. I've seen every other Evil Dead movie. That was rough. That one was really, really rough for me to get through. And my friend was with me, and there were lots of scenes in that movie where I was just like, oh, just tell me when it's over. But you know, that's the point of the movie. Like, that's the point of a horror movie. If you're just sitting in a horror movie and you're just like, meh, it's not really horror. You know, horror needs to like grab you in some way, or it needs to stick with you after you leave the theater. Like a good horror can be like a good psychological thriller or something like that, but it's got to stick with you in some way. But anyway, you've seen people ask for trigger warnings for kittens? Okay. That's kind of what I'm saying. Not a torture. Yeah, torture porn. I'm not into that kind of stuff either. But yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, as you get older, sometimes your tastes change. I know we're talking about horror movies still, but Madison says, I love horror games. I like watching other people play them. I watch a couple different people on the internet who play the horror games, mainly because like I just can't keep up with all the games. But I do like watching other people play them. And the people I watch don't like freak out every time there's some kind of little jump scare. You just finished drafting next fall's course schedule? Oh yeah, what do you teach in Comfortable Ginger? Hey, Ghost Eater. Wait, what are we talking about? Oh. I'm so naturally nervous and I adore my horror survival game, Resident Evil is Life. Yeah, Bruce Campbell, man, he's a national treasure. Campy horror. I love campy horror, and it does fall into that. Like I watched what's it called? Slugs? Slither. It's a James Gunn movie, and it's body horror. It has body horror elements in it, but it's also a comedy. Like it is supposed to be, it is described as a horror movie that is funny. And it is. It's hilarious. It has hilarious moments, but it is still a horror movie. And you will still, especially if you don't do body horror, you will still be like, oh, there are moments. But that one, like, it breaks my rules. And so I like watching it. But Slither is amazing. Yeah. Sam Raimi. Yeah. No, Sam Raimi has no mercy. No. The newest Alien movie. I went to go watch that. Again, same friend. This friend talks me into movies I would not normally watch. College writing. Ah, cool. I never took a college writing course. All right, anyway. This is the movie. Yes. It's like a movie. All right, this is Megan Ans' video, The Weird World of Fat Activist Feminism. Got that out, finally. But kids are going to be reading Burke and Folcott. Will they be understanding it? Yeah, the Alien. Wait, Alien? Did you watch the new one, Farland? It was good. It was pretty good. I thought it was good anyway. Well, I liked it. Remember loving Stephen King, but James Herbert books became huge, and I thought I'd love him. Too graphic for me. Yeah. What was I reading the other day, and I actually put it down because I was just like, this is not my thing. I can't remember, but I was reading. I read horror as well, and I'm kind of like you. I was reading something, and I was just like, this isn't doing it for me. I had to put that down. So I do like psychological thriller, Secret Squirrel. That and when I'm reading, I love reading like haunted house books. I don't know why. That's like my go-to for a good horror story. Clive Barker. Oh my God. I don't care what it is. If it has his name on it, I will read it. campy horror can be really good. And that's the other thing. If it's just like 80s B horror, like bad horror movies, I'll watch it. Because it's probably just, it's so bad it's good, you know? But, all right. So, all right. I think I've done this one enough. Right, exactly, Susan. I don't, like I said, I don't like body horror, but Slither was pretty good. I was like, I shouldn't like the, but I love Gunn as a director, and I think he wrote that one too, or he was part of the writing crew. So, pretty much anything with Gunn and involved with it, I'll watch. So, I'm not a Kuntz fan though. I don't like Dean Kuntz. I don't know about Robin Cook though. There might be some Robin Cook books that I've read, and I just don't cookbooks that I just don't remember. But I don't like Dean Kuntz actually. His Odd, he wrote the Odd series, didn't he? I don't like him. Yeah, Strangers and Watchers. I just didn't get into it. I haven't seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I need to watch that. H.R. Geiger? Yeah, I said his name wrong, but I do love his stuff. His art, yeah. Religious Supernatural. Yeah, I love that stuff too. Jesus Christ, Vampire Slayer. I'll watch it. Robin Cook. I feel like I've read something with Robin Cook. This is not why we're here. I can't watch the Stephen King movies. Oh, Robin Cook did the medical horrors. Oh, yeah. You know, the ones about the ones about pandemics before that happened. Yeah, Tucker and Dale. Yeah, I have to watch that one. All right. Anyway, we're here for intellectual stimulating conversation. I have not watched Ugly Stepsister, and it does not look like I'm going to watch that one. I can't even I have two people I watch who do movie reviews, and I can't even watch the movie review of it. Why are we here? No one knows. You're here to hit the like button. That's why we're here. All right, anyway, I'm distracted by the chat. All right, so I wanted to watch this one because, like I said at the beginning of this, I want to go over the fat activists, fat activism being anti-feminist. So I will eventually be putting that video out. I think I'm gonna have it out next week. I'm really trying to like rein in things. I don't know why the water is giving me hiccups, but it is. Hellraiser? Yeah, no, I love Hellraiser. I like the written story of it too, and the other one that's after that. Yeah, Megan Ans pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie though, I will be upfront with you guys. Like, I'm not like most of the people I watch. I don't agree with everything Megan says, but again, it's fine because we are all adults. And I do want to hear what she says in this video. Because her argument in that video the little clip that we did watch, again, she made a really good point that I hadn't thought of before. So I want to hear her other points. And I think Sam at Every Size has a video about, about fat activism being anti-feminist as well. So I want to pull those videos together and I want to use them as a basis for my video. And I also have some papers that, because I was originally putting one together, and I have some papers that actually compare fat activism to consumerism, and also point out how it is anti-feminist, and also because of the consumerism, it is anti-feminist. So that kind of a thing. Hi, Diary's here. You snuck in. So no, Sam's not anti-feminist. Sam has a video about fat activism being anti-feminist. So Bright light, you're just making Guinness everything. I mean, and here's the thing, like Anna, wow, so sorry. Like Megan was saying, like most of the most vocal fat activists that are on the internet right now, I would if you were to ask them, I would guess they would identify as feminist and probably as very left leaning, and that's fine. But the problem is the arguments that they're making are not either of those things, honestly. So, Rowan, when I put my video together, I'll put links to them because they're at least one or two of them are their open source. So there is one that I'm really tempted about paying for. It's like $60 fucking though. Anyway. Yeah, Heather, silencing a woman to not share her accomplishments to protect the feelings of other women who haven't accomplished that thing is a crazy stance. Yeah, like we were talking about, it's asking a woman to basically silence herself and to make herself small on the off chance it might upset someone else. And yeah. Yeah, and then there's the desire for the male gaze, which I don't think is, well, I mean, okay, it is technically anti-feminist, but I don't think it's wrong to desire to be seen desirable by the whichever gender you're trying to attract. You know, that is kind of part of the game. We are trying to attract mates. You know, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with wanting to be attractive, but the fact that they're constantly like belittling what they perceive as skinny women for being attractive to men, usually they're usually accusing them of being attractive to men specifically, God forbid. And but then they also usually go through a lot of hoops to be attractive, or they want to brag about their ability to get your man, or you know, they'll talk about how promiscuous they are. They go through the beautification rituals that we all know and love, you know, and so it's like you can't really come for me for wanting to be attractive to the male gaze if you are also doing that, you know. Yeah, it's a media analyst term anyway. You can apply it in real world, I think. We're talking about attracting male attention, so. Made or otherwise. There are some people there. You're right. Every other beauty standard besides being thin is cool. Basically. All right. Oh, that's going back and forth in my ears.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate you. So today's video, we're going to be talking about a topic.
I don't appreciate any of you. Get out of here. Go on. Talk to you like I talk to my cats. No. Yeah, I mean, like, for the most part, I think I really like her glasses. I think there's nothing wrong with wanting to be attractive. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I wondered where you were. Could you please get out of my closet now? Thanks. I couldn't find one of my cats earlier, and she's been in my closet the entire time. Anyway, what was I saying? There's nothing wrong with wanting to be attractive. It's not a sin. I mean, in some cultures it is, but in general, it is not a sin, right? You're going feral. But yeah, they're not lifting women up, they're pushing women down. That's the crab in a bucket argument there.
Topic that I have been like thinking
Yeah, exactly. Come out of the closet. It's June. God.
about for a really long time. And I've honestly been like kind of scared to talk about because I don't want to like do it incorrectly. I think I've gotten to a point where I think I can articulate myself to the best way that I possibly can. Today we're going to be talking about the like weird brand of feminism that presents itself in the fat acceptance movement. In my Virgie Tovar history lesson, I like briefly talked about me kind of having my
Virgie Tovar. I tried to make a video about Virgie Tovar and I just like, when I went back to edit it, I was just progressively getting more and more like spitting mad by the end of it. And I was just like, nah, this isn't gonna work. But yeah, what Secret Squirrel says, it's when you push other people down to make yourself look better that it becomes an issue. So yeah.
My like come to moment with this whole topic.
I
finally was kind of starting to realize that a lot of the rhetoric surrounding the fat acceptance movement is inherently anti-feminist, which is odd because so many of them are so loud about being feminist, which like I am too. Like I make it abundantly clear on my channel, if you couldn't just tell by looking at me and everything behind me, I am like about as left-leaning and feminist as they come, right? I think it's so interesting that the stuff that they continue to talk about and to spew on the internet so aggressively is actually, in my opinion, very anti-feminist. And I wasn't sure if I was like grasping at straws or just like making something out of nothing. But then I kind of like brought that thought process up in my Virgie Tovar video. And a lot of comments like very much agreed with me. A lot of them being from people who are much.
Yeah, so this video was from December of 2023. So, excuse me. Message redacted. I always like how it says this. I mean, I'm not gonna. It's like it's top secret. That's what I wanted to say instead of message redacted. I wanted to say top secret. Anyway, yeah. I mean, I don't know. With the whole attraction thing, like I've always been mostly overweight my entire life, and I have never had a problem. There was one guy that I wasn't able to pull. And that had nothing to do with, I don't think it had anything to do with me not being attractive. He was just one of those kind of guys that was just flipping and oblivious. And maybe, I don't think he was into anybody. So maybe he was one of those kind of guys, which is fine. But boy, I had a crush on him. But that was back in college. So, but you know, I met my partner. So, you know. But I also don't like, I never tried to date like the captain of the football team either, because I was just like, what's that like? Like, what's it like dating a guy who actually like, you know, has more of a beauty routine than you do? Like, God, be like dating a girl who does that shit. It takes an hour to get ready in the morning. I just like, nothing against people who do that, because now that I'm older, I get it. It's fine. It doesn't bother me now, but when I was in college and when I was, you know, like, it's still coming out of high school and I was like, I'm not like other girls, you know, the whole idea of dating somebody who would like take that amount of time to put themselves together in the morning, it was just like, ugh. And now I'm older and I am one of those people. So, you know, but yeah. Jennifer says it's like when a self-proclaimed feminist tells me I'm not a feminist because I say at home, Mom. I hate when people do that instead of a girl boss. Yeah, they don't understand feminism. Yeah, whenever I couldn't pull, it was very much a personality issue, not a weight issue. Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's Tuesday. It's Thursday, excuse you. So there you go. Not attractive, I'm a nerd. Trust me, there are plenty of guys who are into that.
Much more qualified to talk about this topic than I am. And so I was like, all right, sweet. There is something here. I also want to say that this video probably
Yeah,
isn't
exactly,
gonna have,
uncomfortable
like, a whole
ginger.
bunch of facts or like anything in it, like research behind it, like some of my other videos do. It's more just like talking about things that I noticed in the fat acceptance world, both while
Oh, see, this is great. She's got Nadia's video. I forgot about Nadia's video, but yeah, that was good. Nadia's is it Nadia or who's the other one? Fudge Ripple. She just came back, or was that Nadia? Anyway, Nadia and the other person whose name is escaping me. They do very similar style videos. They both put a video together. Oh, Susan, thank you. Oh, I appreciate that. Good Tuesday. Well, you came in at the right time. Hey, Shayna's here. All right, Madison, Jennifer, Claire, Tuesday, Heather, and Shayna, welcome to the interns. Mwahaha. I think you were an intern. Well, you are now. Mwahaha. But anyway, I don't know who Alana Melissa is. I feel like I do know who that is. Never mind. Well, it doesn't matter. No, why are you starting over? You don't need to start over. Anyway, I just jumped ahead.
if I was like grasping at straws or just like making something out of nothing. But then I kind of like brought that thought process up in my Virgie Tovar video, and a lot of comments like very much agreed with me, a lot of them being from people who are much more qualified to talk about this topic than I am. And so I was like, all right, sweet, there is something here. I also want to say that this video probably isn't going to have like a whole bunch of facts or like anything in it, like research behind it, like some of my other videos do. It's more just like talking about things that I noticed in the fat acceptance world, both while when I was like in it and like taking in content from it as someone who supported it, and now as someone who no longer supports it. And is kind of looking at all of that in hindsight, and just stuff that I find like when I'm looking for TikToks or whatever for my TikTok reaction videos. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be talking about today. Very lighthearted topic. But before we get into today's video, I want to thank today's video.
No offense, I don't like it. I don't have anything against this. I just don't like ads. I don't like the fact that there's ads in my videos, but you know, I like getting paid, so I like money.
Like I said, like,
and my thing is if YouTube's gonna put ads in my videos anyway. Natasha came in from the yeah, the cats, you know.
in my Virgie video, I talked about how I really started to notice while researching her, because she is someone who makes a lot of her brand about like fighting the patriarchy through fighting fat phobia and like all of that kind of stuff, that a lot of what she talked about, in my opinion, was inherently anti-feminist. And I realized,
let's talk about Virgie and that fucking cake video. And she tries to throw in the whole thing about cutting the cake, that whole scene about cutting the cake, and she's like, you're creating more work for whoever it is who's cutting the cake, who's probably a woman. I can't remember the exact words. Insinuating that you the individual who wants a smaller piece of cake are now creating more work for the person slaving over cutting the cake, and you're creating more work for a woman. And I get what she was trying to do there, and I've never liked that. Well, I don't like the video in general, but I don't like that argument that she made, because she just kind of like shoehorns that in, because she's trying to shoehorn feminism into this fucking argument about this stupid ass cake, right? And it's like the whole freaking video is like very anti-feminist, because you are policing my food, right? Your whole stupid video is about me not being able to eat what I want because it offends you, right? This whole stupid cake thing. If I want a mega-sized piece of cake, it's still going to cause the said cake cutter to have to cut me a larger piece of cake. And one could argue that my larger piece of cake is now taking away from everybody else's ability to enjoy cake, right? So this is a stupid argument. And also it swings both ways. You know, it's just dumb. Also, what if nobody's cutting the cake? What if we're all cutting the cake ourselves? Which is what usually happens. Unless it's a wedding. Right, Hillary, the point of feminism is choice. Like that's kind of, it's one of the cornerstones of it. Well, Jennifer, people just are creating work for you apparently. Megan, I will give Megan this. Her makeup is like beautiful, and she's got amazing skin. Hey, DA, and Tessa, hello, and everybody else I missed who snuck in while I was ranting. You remember Tovar from LiveJournal? Yeah, well,
when I started talking about it, like how nuanced ish of a topic that this was going to be, because I understand where fat activists are coming from, thinking that what they are doing is feminism. And in some ways it is, and I get it. And so, but I also think that because there is some like nugget of truth and validity to what they are saying in terms of, in the context of feminism, that like, that's what makes it so dangerous and so easy to fall into their messaging in other realms, right? I was gonna make a whole video on like why I think the fat activist movement and the fat acceptance movement and the fat liberation movement, whatever you want to call it, is mostly women, because I get a lot of criticism on here that I am another woman tearing women down. And like, I can honestly understand that criticism, but it also doesn't help that like, this is the content that I've chosen to talk about. And the vast majority of the people in the content that I've chosen to talk about are women or femme presenting people. I don't think the reason why is a hard thing to grasp, because like, since the dawn of time, like women have constantly had their bodies scrutinized, criticized.
All right, I can't let that one roll by. Nobody is inherently a traitor to feminism because they choose to transition. That's just a stupid fucking argument, and I hate it. So let's put that one out there right now.
And policed, right? And we're still seeing it today, like with Roe v. Wade being overturned a few years.
Can we not? Oh God, that makes me hurt. It goes back. This transitioning goes into the whole body autonomy thing. You have a body, it is your body. You have a right to do with your body what you want. Roe v. Wade. So, you know, I don't get that. Oh my. You know, some people, like Claire says, my friends are all extremely offensive. Some people enjoy that. I don't necessarily like it, but you know, sometimes you just need that. Sometimes you just need somebody to just tell you how it is. And it hurts and you don't like it, you know? What if I want some carrot sticks instead of cake? Oh, well, she's got a whole video about killing vegetables and something that's akin to the patriarchy. Virgie does. That one doesn't make any sense either. There's something about smashing scales. I don't remember. I hate the argument that it's anti-feminist to critique other women. No, it's not. Exactly, McFarlane. It's your body. You get to do what you want. If you want to go get those weird implants that make you look like a lizard person, go. Have fun. You could never remember the names. You guys talking about foodie? The smashing scale vid that Cynical did? Yeah, being blunt's a blessing and a curse. Like, you know. I don't think sisterhoods is necessarily missing from modern feminism. I think it matters where you're looking. I think the internet has a way of creating bubbles. The vanity argument? No, I think a lot of the videos I watch that critique fat activism often do actually critique the vanity argument. So I see it, but I if you're just watching like the cringe compilations, they usually aren't critiquing it because they're just kind of making fun of the people in general. So those I don't think are helpful at all in general. But yeah, weight loss for vanity is wrong. You know. Bye, Groovy Bobby. Have fun at your appointments.
Years ago, like, and I think it's interesting though, because for a while, like, it was very in vogue to like be plump because it meant that you had enough money to eat. But around those times as well, and I'm working on a more in-depth video that's like it's gonna be like a body positivity fat acceptance history lesson like I usually do on creators. I'm doing it on like this whole movement to the best of my ability because there is a lot to cover there. But around that same time when it was like en vogue to be more plump is also when like the first fad diet was written by a man, but then it was like twisted so many times to be remarketed so many times as diets that were aimed towards women. Like, anyone can say what they want, but like we can't ignore the fact that like the ideas that women have constantly have had shoved down their throats about how they should look, how they should act, all of that kind of stuff, we're very much just feeding into the archaic ideals that women should be attracted to men and that we were only made to bear children, right? And for a very long time, and even still now to a certain extent, I do think that
Yeah. I honestly think here's the thing. When it comes to things like fashion and I do include thinness as part of fashion because the degree of thinness does fluctuate throughout history. Like sometimes being too thin is not in, and I know everybody's freaking out about heroin chic's coming back. Maybe I'm just not on the internet that much. Because I remember when everybody was freaking out, muscle mommies, blah. And I was like, okay. Anyway, but my thing is when it comes to fashion with women, I don't honestly think women are doing those things to attract men. Women dress a very certain way when they're trying to attract men, and it's not the same as what they look like when they're trying to keep up with fads and trends. My personal opinion, I think when women are dressing that way, they're actually dressing up for other women and not in a, oh, I'm trying to attract women kind of way. It's a, I'm trying to think of the right word. It's just it's a display towards other women, kind of like, it's not even a wealth display. It's a belonging display. You know, it's a way of signaling that you belong within a certain group, and it's also a way of signaling to that group that you're aware of the rules within that group, right? You know, and to go with like, I don't know, I was part of the grunge kids, right? You wore certain things to show that you were part of the grunge group, right? There were rules. They were unspoken, but there were rules, right? As well as how you dressed. And when women are trying to attract men, they dress differently. They do their makeup a little bit differently. You know, you're trying to attract, right? When women are out with other women for the sake of being with other women, they don't usually do the same sort of like display unless they're going to a club to go attract more men, right? That's kind of the thing. But So I don't, and I put thinness into that category because thinness tends to be very fad oriented, and what men desire doesn't go into consideration at that. Like all of the women who are getting like the BBLs, men, I don't think men, like as a whole, actually find that overly attractive, right? I think women saw, what was it, the Kardashians who did it first, or the Kardashians that made it popular. I think women saw the Kardashians doing it, and the Kardashians set trends, right? They saw the Kardashians got the BBLs. I think this is how this goes. If it's not, just run with me and we'll just pretend like it is. And women within a certain group, right, who want to be part of that type of a group. And so they were like, well, the Kardashians lead that group. They set the trends for that group. So they decided, well, a good chunk of them decided, I'm going to go get a BBL, right? And the men that they are with, I mean, what are you going to do? Not date the women? You know? So that's kind of it. It's not, I don't want to say conform or conformist, because like it's not like that, because if you're going to say that, you say it about all groups, you know, even counterculture groups, as far as being conformist, you know. So McFarlane, kinda, yeah. Yeah, peacocking, but for women. Yeah. Yeah, idiot witch. I don't know who that was, but yeah. The comedian said, women don't worry about what men want. Men are dragging themselves through the desert and you're a 7-Eleven. Yeah. I've always said, I've had to like caveat it now, but I've always said, if you're a straight woman and you don't have a dude, you don't have a man, you're just not trying hard enough. It's not hard to attract a man. Now, is that the man you want? That's a totally different story. I'm not saying you're like gonna attract the dude you want, but you can get a man. I was making a joke, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what it's like dating on the other side. Competition is a good word. Sometimes, yeah, especially if you're like competing to be the top. Like with you see it with the celebrities, how they will compete with each other to be the top, you know, to be the one setting the trends, right? So you will see that there. And I think within a group or a clique, if one will, you will see jockeying for the top position, and you will see the competition there. So yeah, definitely there. But the rest of the people, they just want to kind of like signal that they're part of that group, right? Like, hey, Clance, nah, you showed up kind of sort of around the right time. Yeah, so like when it comes to fads and fashion, it's not really, I don't think it is at all about attracting men at all or attracting a mate. Unless, I mean, maybe it works with, I don't know. I don't date lesbians. So maybe since it is about attracting, it's not even about attracting women, but since it is about impressing other women, maybe that does work. I don't know. You would have to let me know about that one. I don't know how women go about attracting other women. But maybe that does work. Like I said, I don't know. But in my opinion, when women are doing that kind of a thing, they're not thinking about attracting a mate. Let me put it that way. They're just signaling that they are part of a group and that they belong to that group. So anyway. Oh, damn me. Well, that's the unfortunate part with that. As a small person who's asked for a smaller piece of cake, actually made me feel bad for a second. Don't let Virgie Tovar make you feel bad.
Fat women are looked at to be less desirable. And like I've experienced that in my own terms because I had weight loss surgery 5 years ago. I used to be well over 300 pounds. I got below like 200 pounds. And the attention that I got like significantly varied, but that also could be because of like my confidence levels changing a little bit and like all that kind of stuff. That's a long story, but like I've experienced that to some degree myself. But like I've talked about when it comes to preferences and stuff, I really think that a lot of preferences that consenting adults have towards each other are very hard to describe or explain, you know what I mean? And so I've always been a big proponent of the fact that like so long as you're not like hateful with your preferences, that's all that really matters. But desirability aside, again, based on my own experience, like I do think that fat women in particular, like I said, are treated differently a lot of times in society as well, and particularly when it does come to the medical system. And that's why I think when they start talking about how like your doctor weighing you at your appointment is fat phobic or whatever, it waters down a much bigger issue because like women already are not treated well in the medical system, at least in America for the most part. And I've experienced that because as a fat teen, my chronic illness that I developed when I was a teenager was written off as hormones and me just needing to lose weight so many times. And so like imagine my surprise, and I have a whole video on this, imagine my surprise when I lost 100 plus pounds and my chronic illness got worse. I think that was ignored for a really long time, not only because of my weight, but also because of my gender. And so I think when they start making weird false equivalencies of like, oh, your doctor just weighing you, getting a vital sign is fat phobic, they start watering down an issue that actually exists. But they focus on like a lot of the little things, at least in my experience consuming that kind of content. Honestly, like I think the reason why that activism movement has managed to hang on so long in the context of being a feminist movement also is because in the rise of like modern day fat activism, body positivity, whatever you want to call it, like in the early 2010s, it was something that like women actually kind of needed because it was coming out of like the heroin chic, the like thin is in, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels kind of time, right? And I think a lot of women and young girls, myself included, were sick of seeing that because that kind of body type was and still is like so impossible to achieve, but it was being held as like the standard for what made a desirable woman. And
Heroin chic wasn't that long lived, and I don't know. Walma says, I think there's a lot of nuance missing from the criticisms that's thrown at Hayes. Sorry, that Meghan does a good job of addressing. She doesn't seem to invalidate fat people's experiences. Oh crap. Yes, I'm agreeing with you there. Yes. I'm just like, I probably do that. Actually, I probably do invalidate people. And it's not intentional. It's just, unfortunately, the way I talk sometimes. Jules, I'm a nurse and have worked primarily in long-term care and skilled nurse facilities. That desire to be seen as attractive to whoever you're attracted to never goes away. I've heard stories. I have heard stories. Are you allowed to use the C word? The C-U-N-T word? Heroin chic was also a celebrity thing. You can use the C-U-N-T word. That's fine. I don't care. I don't use it, but that's fine. You can type out all the other words. I don't mind. Heroin chic was also a celebrity thing. The average man. No, he can't pull that. He'll take away. I mean, thinness was a thing. Narcissistic tell stories. Thinness has always been a thing, is my problem, and thinness has always been held up as a virtue. So where I'm going with that, I think when not body positivity, I think when I first heard about fat acceptance as a thing, it didn't hit my radar as necessarily being a bad thing, because much like Megan was saying, I was like, yeah, it doesn't hurt to, draw attention to, or maybe even try to elevate larger people to being on the same keel. And like, again, I think I've said this in another video, but like, I remember growing up, because like I said, I've always been a bigger person. I grew up, size 12 was a plus size, and you couldn't find size 12 in the like teens section. So I had to, if I was going to buy clothes at Target or anywhere, Kmart, I would have to go to the adult section to find the sizes that fit me. So that, I remember that, or go to Goodwill, which I usually did, because back then Goodwill was, cheap and everything was all smushed together, so it didn't matter where you were. But that's kind of the thing. Like now, because of A, everybody's fat, and B, I do think fat acceptance has had a little bit of an impact on this. Now you can buy, the clothes are all mostly integrated. There's not really a lot of plus sections because the clothes are all together. You can buy, people don't even perceive size 12 and 14 as being plus size anymore. That kind of a thing. So like people today, plus size people today have really cute clothes they can get. It's very easy. You can go into most stores and purchase plus size clothes without much of an issue, unless you're super plus sized. So, I do think I do think that has been a good impact. And I think just in general, not treating larger people like absolute shit in general has been good. But everything else, this level of fat activism is dumb. Body positivity is a totally different thing. Wow. Everdiki? I'm not gonna get that. I can't get that one. Let's see. Yeah, like Rowan is saying here, heroin chic wasn't really the IRL trend that most people say it was. It wasn't. It really wasn't. It was overwhelmingly contained being a fashion trend in photography. So yeah, and that's the thing. That's why when everybody's freaking out about the heroin chic thing, it was only a handful of models who were known for being that thin. I don't even think it was that many. I feel like it was really just that one model, and it didn't really go anywhere. It wasn't really pushed outside of the fashion magazines and that kind of thing, and it didn't last very long. So I know everybody's freaking out about it. And that was the second time that had come around. There was a fashion model from, I want to say, the 60s, who was also called Twiggy. And she was also very thin. And it was basically the same thing. And I think they were just thin women, basically. But I can understand people being concerned about girls being influenced to try to make themselves that thin, because we do live in an era of pro Anna stuff, and girls having thin spo and that kind of shit. But the other thing you have to understand, that shit was well healthily already going on when I was in high school, and I was in high school during the 90s. So, if it was established when I got to high school, that means it was there in the 80s too. So, that my point being, these are not new problems. These are problems that we have had, and they are probably more visible because of the internet now. But A, we've done nothing to actually address them. So good job us. And B, these are not new problems, and we've done nothing to address them. I guess is where I'm going with that. Yeah, Annie, I kind of was hitting on that one. Yeah, that's the internet made it more visible, and because the internet's the way it is, you can have a bubble, you can create a Discord for these kind of things. You can I wasn't really on Tumblr that much. I didn't really understand it, so I didn't use it that much. But I'm pretty sure Tumblr, LiveJournal, those kind of places, I'm so sorry. But getting back to this, body positivity did start off as it wasn't even like a movement. It was just kind of like it was just kind of like a thought experiment to get people to accept other people who may or may not be conventional or who had missing limbs. I think one of the big spokespeople for it was a woman who had had acid thrown in her face, that kind of thing. So body positivity actually started off for people who were marred in some way. I'm trying to use good words, not bad words, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it started out for like amputees, burn victims, and that kind of stuff. And I don't know how the hell it got hijacked by the fat acceptance, but it did. Oh, Kate Moss, yeah. Turned sideways and flied away. Having scales at parties. I kind of vaguely remember that. But I didn't really follow Paris Hilton because I, at the time, thought she was a bimbo. I have a lot of respect for Paris Hilton these days. She really did a good job. You're in the UK and super morbidly obese people are not common. The middle-age spread. Well, 600 pounds is not the middle-age spread. Culturally, fatness is pretty much woven into laziness and poorness pretty much well, maybe not poorness, but definitely laziness. The term body positive originated in the 1980s with the HIV/AIDS epidemic. That doesn't surprise me. That was a whole thing. I don't know how many of you remember that. And I've seen the fat activists try to compare their bullshit to the AIDS epidemic, and that makes me want to punch walls. Just turned 50 on the 12th for age context. Where was the rest of the... I'm getting lost in the comments, though. Yeah, Wauma. The thing is, a lot of bigger people feel like they can't live life until they lose weight. So fat acceptance was really important for people to realize they don't have to pause their life until then. Yes, that's another, I think, important thing that came out of maybe early fat acceptance was bigger people realizing that they don't have to wait to do certain things. I mean, obviously, you're not going to go ziplining, right? There are certain things you're not doing until you lose weight. But there are a lot of people who would put their life on hold until they lost weight. And then, of course, we're all bad at losing weight. So your life is just indefinitely on hold. And there were a lot of people who started traveling and they were just like, look, I'm fat and I travel. I'm fat and I do XYZ. you can do it too. And, you know, it got people out of their shells, and that's good. Yeah, no, body positivity totally got co-opted by fat acceptance. So, anyway.
We were sick of it. And so, like, when Tess Holliday came into the picture, I really think that she's
Jennifer here talking about people wanted to look like they had consumption back in the Victorian era. Yeah, because they thought for some strange reason that was attractive. That's, I think, why blush came into existence, is because they liked how your cheeks would flush. Something like that. And so they would start wearing blush. Don't quote me on that one. Don't quote me on that one.
She opened the floodgates, really, of like, this is body positivity, this is inclusivity, this is feminism. And I really do think that, like, that was something that is needed. And I do think it's something that's still needed, because I think I'm the first to say that, like, I think all representation is important in media, in whatever, so long as it's not, like, performative, which I really don't think Tess was to begin with. I think it is, Tess and what the fat activism community has become is performative now. And I think a lot of female and femme presenting fat activists now think that they are making a notable contribution to modern day feminism, simply because they're like fat women, fat femme presenting people. When I say women, I'm also meaning like femme presenting people. I do believe in intersectionality in feminism, okay? They think that they're making a notable contribution to modern day feminism as it is now because they are fat women, like living life, being loud, dressing how they want.
I think that's the other thing that people, because I came out of an era where people wouldn't even identify as being feminism, even though like they agreed with all the points of feminism, because feminism was like, it's the F word. Yeah, and like you did not identify as being feminist because like that was icky bad, right? Women would literally go out of their, I'm not a feminist, you know, like that was like an insult. So I came out of that era. But here's the deal with feminism. Like, you don't have to be female to be feminist. Ergo, it doesn't matter what you're rocking. You know? I think women do make up the majority of feminists. And I will say, I do side-eye guys when they tell me they're feminist. I'm not going to lie on that one. But I do meet guys who I have met men who I would comfortably say are actually feminists. But feminism isn't really just for women. I mean, it's predominantly for women and it's highly focused on women, but most of the rights and stuff that affect women benefit everybody. So that's kind of the trick with feminism, you know? The more that you improve the lives of women, you improve the lives of everybody. There's a lot of rights that have been introduced for men that benefit men that were fought for by feminists. So it's like, it doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, what your plumbing is, what your plumbing isn't. You know, you can be a feminist. That shit doesn't matter, right? What matters is, do you agree with the principles? Are you gonna be down for like standing up for people's rights? That kind of shit. Are you here for equality? You know, that kind of crap. So. Oh, Susan? Yeah. Well, I found out that there's an entirely different BMI chart for people who are Asian. So, I didn't know that. Yeah, paternity leave was a feminist thing. Why do you keep erasing your stuff? Oh, if you guys want my attention, feel free to at me, because I'll at least see it. Yeah, you can be fat and fashionable. There we are. No, I read this. Body positivity is a social education for accepting people who look different was a thing predating its co-op by fat acceptance. But the term, hello lady, how are you? How are you? But the term body positive originates with HIV patience and activism. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see. Yes. I love you. It's not my fault that you didn't come out for lunch. You have food, so you can be cute all you want. Yeah. Yes, this is the princess that was locked in my closet. She wasn't locked in my closet. She was in my closet and didn't come out for lunch. So her boyfriend ate all of her food. And now she wants more food because she didn't get her wet food for lunch. Because you were sitting in the closet and you didn't come out when I called you. I know, it's a travesty. Now you have to wait for dinner. I love you. I do. You're being adorable. You want to sit in my lap? You want to come over the lap, or do you just want to sit there and not be touched? Okay. That's what we're doing. Cat bombing the streams, yeah. Are you glad you turned in when the cat showed up, Marissa? Aw, well, I hope your cat's doing okay, Ghost Eater. Hi. Yeah, Hillary, I don't know where that comes from. That whole, hi. Cannot figure out where the black queer women who started the FA thing came from. I have no idea where that's coming from. I really don't. I think they're just trying to like throw their hat in with actual marginalized groups who actually have problems. And I think that's all that really is. And they're just trying to like create some mythological person who never existed that they can point to, because like this person who has all the traits, you can never argue with that person, you know. And it's like, yeah, I can't argue with that person because that person doesn't exist. They're creating they're creating the straw man that I can't argue against. They're creating the dragon in the garage. Oh, now you want my lap? Come on. You are so weird. That can't be comfortable. Thank you. Bump. All right, anyway.
Like, and not really giving a fuck. But really, I think that fat activism has gone a little off the rails and in turn has started to go against the message that they are actively trying to spread in the context of feminism. I think one of the main things that like always boggles my mind when it comes to fat activists today and like how they claim to be staunch feminists and like how a lot of them reference like the history of the fat acceptance, the body positivity movement, like prove points and stuff, is that contrary to their popular belief, fat activism was not started by fat black queer women like they like to say, and I've talked about in other videos.
What do you want from body positivity? Because I have been struggling now for 2 years on this app to figure out why skinny people keep making videos like this, and then they have never made a video saying what A, they would like to contribute to a body positive movement, and B, what it is they would like from the fat people, particularly the fat black women, who birthed body positivity into existence. What structural discrimination, what marginalization are you experiencing that you need our support for?
Here's an interesting thing, and Megan will probably get into it, but you've already poked yourself in the eye once, okay? Let's not. I'm going to say something important. Leave me alone. This whole this whole argument that, you know, they try to assign the trait of fatness to black women, especially black women. And I don't think they understand that when they're doing this and they're assigning that trait, because they also will assign the trait of thinness to white women specifically. And when they do that, they're making this very racial comment about what blackness is. Like they are defining blackness. Okay, you're done now. And I don't think they hear themselves, because I mean, it's fine if you want to go after white women. It's fine. Nobody's going to get that angry about it. But the problem is you're also going after black women, and you're saying that being a black woman means that you are inherently fat, that you cannot not be fat, right? Which is obviously not true. Not only can you not be fat, you can be thin, you can be muscular, you can be a lot of things. I am not petting you right now. I know, it's a travesty. But that's the problem with assigning those kind of traits, because also you now have the problem of, so what is a fat white woman, right? If fatness is a trait of blackness, what does it mean when a white woman is fat? Right? So that kind of a thing. Patient 0 for the citation. I don't know if we can find that person. I don't think it came out of Fearing the Black Body. Fearing the Black Body doesn't really talk about this stuff. If anybody's actually read it. I know Sam at Every Size was reading it. I don't remember if she got all the way through it. The taking up space. Yeah, that's the other thing. They steal arguments, and they steal pieces of movements from other groups.
And are you willing to do the work to unlearn your fat phobia in the process? Or do you want us to just be okay with the fact that you have insecurities about gaining weight and being fat or looking fat? Hey, fat people aren't mad at you because you lost weight. They're mad because the second you did, you used your thin privilege to body check, shit on other fat creators, and discredit a movement started in the 1960s by fat, black, queer, and disabled women to fight against fat oppression.
Oh yeah, disabled. You have to remember that disabled's in there too.
You're not under attack because you're skinny now. You're under attack because you're fat phobic.
It was created by 3 very white men for their own personal gain.
But look around this room, she said, and you can't deny there are many attractive women here. This model bride was attractive enough to catch the fancy of the man who stands beside her. They were married a year ago.
I'm happy with my husband, and I'm happy with my life. I'm me. It doesn't matter whether I weigh 150 pounds or 350 pounds.
And you weigh 350?
Mm-hmm.
375.
375, he'll brag.
A lot of the guys are in the closet about liking fat women. They come here, they're single guys. They don't want their friends to know they're with fat women.
It's very hard when people ridicule the type of women that you like and say they're ugly. And they laugh at you when you walk with them arm in arm down the street.
Why does it matter to you? Why do you care what other men think about the value of the woman that you are walking with? Why do you, the man who is walking with the woman, care about the perceived value or your perceived manliness in the eyes of other men? See what's happening here? He's concerned about how he appears to other men because of the woman that he has chosen to walk with, right? He wants other men to see the value or to perceive the woman he is with as being a high value woman as well, right? That's what's occurring here. So he wants to also appear to be a high value man because he has a high value woman. So the comment about the man bragging about how big his wife is makes me sick every single time I see it. This gives me the ick on a number of levels. Yeah, well, that's the value thing. Yeah, her perceived value impacts his perceived value. Oh, I know what it looked like, but she's actually begging. She wants me to feed her dinner, and it's not dinner time, for one. For two, she missed her, and they have food. She has a dry food sitting out if she's actually hungry. She wants her wet food for dinner. She missed her lunch because she was hiding in my closet and didn't come out to get her lunch. And also she keeps ramming her head into my thumb, and she keeps poking herself in the eye. And so that's why I stopped petting her, because I didn't want her to keep poking herself in the eye. So I know it looks like I was ignoring her, but I really wasn't. I was trying to get her to stop hurting herself. What was that? And now they're fighting. Yeah, the NAFA, yeah, women in the 70s. It's so awful. The men into us get clowned on by their friends, yeah. It's a feminist organization, and our movement was always feminist. The thing is it does eventually get taken over, and it does eventually become, I guess, a feminist movement. It just takes a long time. So. What? What are you doing? Where are you? Kitty, kitty, kitty. What are you? Hang on. I need to go find out what's going on. Really? Do not poke yourself in the eye with my fingers. Hey, Lindsay's here. Lindsay, I'm glad you're here. You should do, I'm making a recommendation. You should do Alexandra Rodriguez's clothing hauls. Yes, I'm aware. I just wanted to suggest that to you. And by you should, I'm just saying I am suggesting that you should do that, not I'm demanding it or anything. But I was thinking that since you already do glitter and lasers, you could maybe look at Alexandra's as well, because she does a bunch of them here and there. Anyway, you really need to stop. You really need to stop. Anyway, where were we?
Some people like to look at fat people. I love to look at a fat woman on the beach. If I saw Marilyn Monroe or Gina Lollobrigida on the beach, they turn me off. It's just like looking at a bull.
Like, this fact alone goes against a lot of what they are trying to say. And I honestly think that they are missing, like, a big marketing point, like a big marketing tactic that they could really latch onto here by saying that, like, yeah, this was started by 3 men and perpetuated by, like, conventions where, like, men had a fetish for fat women would come and make these women feel desirable. Like, we turned that around. Now it's basically dominated by women lifting each other up. I think that is a notable marketing ploy that they
exactly
are missing out on. But that's besides my point. The fat acceptance movement is documented to have been started by Steve Post, Lou Louderbeck, and Will Favory. And notice we have names of the names of those men. And these men have admitted themselves that, like, one of them really only did it as a publicity stunt because I think he was a journalist, and then another one did it because he married a fat woman and wanted it to be seen more socially acceptable. And he even used the terms like he felt like he was in the closet when it came.
Yeah. So since the beginning of fat acceptance, they've been tying their horse or hitching their horse to other people's wagons. And Lindsay said, caring about your partner's health and longevity is love. Yeah, exactly.
To his attraction to fat women, which that whole idea in itself, I think, is like a valid thing to push back on as a fat woman. I get that. Like, I get how pushing back towards that mentality could be seen as feminist and as standing up for yourself. This seems like a good time to remind people to go check out Beducated using the link below in my description and use my code Megan Ann. That's MEGAN.
That's fair. Lindsay, that's fair. I can understand that too. Are you good now?
ANNE at checkout for 40% off an annual pass, because they do have lots of courses for safely exploring specific sexual interests that anybody may have. Okay, bye. But if you don't want to wait for like my longer video on it, Nadia Nymph has a really great video covering the first like 30 years of the documented fat acceptance movement, and I'll have that linked down below, and that helped me a lot as like a starting point for my video. But like off the topic of desirability and stuff too, they are a big proponent of saying that if you are not attracted to a fat woman or a fat person, you are fat phobic.
Hey, bestie!
Oh my God, I hate this woman. Hate's a strong word. This woman annoys the crap out of me. I noticed that she hasn't made a video in a while though, so I think she's done.
You're wrong. I think it's time for another adult pre-K lesson. What do you think? All right, turn your listening ears on. Zoop, catch a bubble in your mouth. Good job. Okay.
If I found out that there was a teacher talking to my kid like this, I would yank my kid out of that school so fucking fast. I swear to God. You don't talk to people like this. This is just not how you talk to people. You wish Alexandra's mother had a channel. I'm kind of surprised she doesn't, to be honest. Hate's a strong word. I don't know her. I don't have enough energy to actually hate her. Steve posted the fat in as a kind of media stunt. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Milks. Have you not seen this one? It gets worse.
Here's the thing. Having a preference is something like, I'm looking for a partner who likes kayaking, or wakes up early in the morning, or loves pizza. But when your preferences exclude an entire group of marginalized people, that's problematic. Okay, that's not nice. That's not a preference. If you lump all fat people in one group together as though they are not very different individuals, that's fat phobic. Just like lumping all black people in one group and saying, I don't like black people is racist. And lumping all disabled people in one group and saying, I don't think people in wheelchairs are hot is ableist. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Torture.
And I think this also directly goes against.
Technically, that was Megan making us all watch it. I understand what she's trying to, the point she's trying to make. But here's the problem. Even if you're excluding whole groups of people based on a physical trait, it's still a preference. Does it make you an asshole? Probably. But it's still a preference. Right? That's just kind of the definition of the fucking word. Can you hear her? Well, and that's, as McFarlane has pointed out, that's the other problem with this argument, and I think Megan's going to get into it. We're almost done with that section, so let me let her finish, because if she doesn't talk about it, I will.
Against feminism, because the just by forcing people to find you desirable, or like trying to get people to find you desirable, actively goes against feminist ideals, because I really think that feminism was also birthed out of like, women aren't just objects to be desired. Does everybody want to be desired in their life? Yeah, like that's just human nature. But do I think that like trying to force people to find you desirable is a feminist move? No. And I've done that. Like I haven't forced somebody to be desirable to me, but I've tried to make myself more desirable to people who maybe just weren't worth my time. I think it's more feminist to say, hey, you're not worth my time because we met in like a romantic context and you clearly just don't find me desirable anymore. So I'm not going to pursue you anymore. I think that's more feminist than trying to say, oh, you're fat phobic because you don't find me attractive. I do think that the topic of fat activism and their obsession with desirability is something that can't be ignored in this context. So yeah, But I really don't think that it can be argued that the fat activist movement itself, at least as we know it today, like back from the 60s and the 70s, was started by men.
Okay, she didn't hit on the point that I wanted to talk. Yes, the cat is obviously starving. She's screaming at me. Anyway, the other major issue with this whole you have to date fat people, you excluding fat people makes you an ism, is I know a good chunk of you are roughly around my age group. I don't know how many of you got told, could you just try to not be gay? It's that kind of a vibe. And I don't think they understand that, because there are some of them that are like, you just need to watch adult content that has fat people in it until you find them attractive. Excuse me? You're literally telling me I need to brainwash myself until I find you attractive because you want to date people who don't, well, first off, you want to date people who don't find you attractive. Why? That's weird. Why do you want to date people who don't like you? That's just strange. And two, excuse you? Like, do you hear the fucking words coming out of your mouth? You want me to reprogram my personal and sexual preferences so that they match yours? Because it's inconvenient for you that my personal and sexual preferences don't match up with yours. That's what you're saying. And, like, excuse me. But yet you want to sit here and be like, fat activism has the same problems as the queer community. I think you need to go back through your notes. Because you missed a piece. So, yes, my poor starving cat. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, yeah, and while it also comes down to you should be attracted to people like me. And it does also it is very, like, it's a very selfish argument as well, because it obviously revolves around their preferences or their preference. So in that aspect, it's an incredibly selfish argument. But they're not in general talking to me. They're talking to conventionally attractive men, right? And in some cases, I guess, conventionally attractive lesbians. Because I know there's more than one of them that go after the lesbian community. Oh, she's got a boxing thing on the door out there. Exactly, Rowan. Brainwash yourself until you're not gay anymore. Did you hear yourself? But yeah, forcing, strong-arming, shaming people into a relationship is weird. But also, like, go back to, like, the late 80s, early 90s, because that's when I was alive for this. How many people who were gay were in straight relationships because it was A, safer, and B, they were basically forced into them because family didn't want to accept that they were gay. You know? It's that kind of shit. Yes, I know you're aggravated. I heard you. Everyone heard you. If you bite me, I will not be pleased. Pick me vibes. Yeah. Yeah, Princess Brioche. Good luck convincing lesbians to like anything they don't. And there you have it, Jennifer. Are all the prominent fat people also attracted to heavier people? No. Most of them have thinner, most of them are straight, and they have thinner boyfriends or husbands. Like Virgie Tovar's husband is svelte. I don't know if he's like, actually, I think he does bodybuild. But he is not overweight himself. When Tess was married, he was skinny. Trying to think of the other ones that I know of. I don't really know too many of them, but they date thinner men. They don't date big men. Yeah, in Princess Brioche, I think it's Nadia who calls them femcells. And though I hate the term, I do kind of see it. Yeah, exactly, Milks. It's not because they're fat, it's their personalities. Yeah, exactly. My uncle was married to a woman, had 3 kids, and came out when I was 8. There were a lot of guys that happened to. There were a lot of women that happened to. When it was safer. He's a gym bunny. Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, now she's giving me the cold shoulder. She's sitting in a way that she is ignoring me, and she's letting me know that she's ignoring me, but that also means that she's sitting quietly, so. Lindsay. Virgie Tovar's husband looks like he went on a quest to take a ring to another land. And look what he had. Look what he won. I was gonna make a Smaug joke, but oh no. Exactly, Milks. It's hard to date somebody who whines about fat rights all the time and gets pissed when chairs in restaurants have armrests. Yeah. Yeah, she's 100%. I see you. You are my little shade queen, aren't you? All right, it's 8 o'clock. Been doing this for about 2 hours. We're roughly halfway through this. There's a troll in the basement. Just thought you should know. Promptly passes out. Lindsay's my happy place. You don't have to be nice. The Goblin King. Was there a Goblin King in the Hobbit? Okay, I clicked on that one. Is this one working? No. Maybe I didn't click on that one. Huh. They're there. They're just private. Who? Which one's Alana Melissa? That's not going to work. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. They're fat roll cheese. Ugh. If many of them are married, why are they trying to force people to attract? The ones that are trying to get you to be attracted to them are not married. Rolled cheese. The snark is the best part. But anyway. All right. Excuse me. I'm a lady today. Coughing and burping and everything. All right. So that's what I wanted to see was this video. I'm going to have to dig Sam's up. I think I remember. I know I watched that one, but I need to dig that up again. This is Nadia's video. I think this is a really good one too.
It doesn't matter whether I weigh 100.
Didn't actually want to. Was it really 3 years ago? Dude, I've been doing this too long. Okay, now I really feel old. But anyway, this is exposing the true origins of the fat acceptance movement. This is a really good video. It's only 60 minutes long too. But Nadia did one, and so did Fundy Times. And both of them are very good. So, will that pop up? No. Yeah, well. So, these are good to watch. Excuse me. These are good to watch if you guys want to further inform yourself, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to put the link to this one in the chat one more time so you guys can watch the rest of it if you haven't seen it already, because it is like a year old at this point. But I am glad Fundy's back, yes. I only had like a couple critiques for the video that they did because they were saying, or she was saying Jordan hadn't done anything for their legs, but Jordan has actually. Jordan's still very active as a activist, but they did actually get their legs treated and did do the keto. So yeah, Lindo getting ousted. Couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Lindo getting ousted by the FA. Yeah, that was kind of funny actually. I'm a lady always. The lady boobs. Yeah, that's the thing with the FA. Like they care about attractiveness. They care about being perceived as attractive. They want people to see them as attractive, and they want your man, and they want to believe that they can pull your man because that tells them that they have value, which is, it's not an unusual thing for people, especially women, to view themselves as valuable if they are perceived as attractive, because it's a very societal thing for us. Obviously it's, it's beat into us from a very early age, especially in any society that I can think of, to be honest. Any developed society, I guess. And it's just how it is. So when you don't perceive that you are attracting the men that you think you should be, and yeah, it's just kind of the femcel. It's like an incel argument, only it's coming from the women. So yeah, a femcel argument of like, it couldn't possibly be me, so it must be everyone else. It's not it can't be me who is wrong. It must be the children, kind of a thing. But I think deep down, or not even deep down, I think very close to the surface, they know that the problem is them. Lady, I do lady things. Exactly, Rocky. So I'm actually a swamp witch. I'm actually 3 raccoons in a trench coat. Yeah, low self-esteem seeks external validation. Yeah, exactly. You hear the thunder? Probably not. That was a nice one. All right, but anyway. Claire's leaving us anyway, and I need to let you guys go. There's a thunderstorm rolling in, so I don't want to be Amber and have my live go out, so it's probably just time to go. And all right, if we've made it this far in the what are we going to use this time? What should we use? What icon? We should use a cat. The angry cat face. Because I'm still being shunned. Oh, now you're spite napping. Oh, that's so cute. You're so cute when you pout. She does that thing. I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping. I don't see you. This is so cute. But yeah, go ahead and leave the angry cat face down as your emoji if you've made it this far. Go give, I mean, Megan doesn't need me shouting her out, but go give Megan's video a watch if you would. I love the hearts in the multiple colors. And that's all I've got for you guys. Thank you for having a conversation with me. I appreciate it. I don't know. We might watch the rest of this together, but I kind of want to put my video together by the end of next week so I can get all of the much like Megan, I am hesitant to put that video out because I feel like I'm going to get a shit ton of nasty comments, but it is what it is. So anyway, I will see everybody in the next live or the next video.